welcome back to my channel. This is a very quick video to update you guys on something that I tried to start at the beginning of this year. So I put a video up end of January time. I will link it and do stuff and do whatever is necessary and maybe play a bit of it, called Starting a New Cash Envelope System. This is something I've wanted to do for a long time to try and get control of my finances and prevent me overspending. So in that video you saw that I bought myself some cash envelopes and I set myself up with the system and the plan for how it was going to work. What you're going to see in this video is how the first 4 weeks went. So for the first 4 weeks I recorded myself doing the updates every week of how it had gone and whatever. After the 4 weeks it hit a snag, and the snag was I did not have any money to put in the envelopes. Went through a bit of a lethal blip with eBay, things plummeted a bit. I had a low YouTube payday. I don't earn very much from YouTube, but I'd earned more in December and January than I did in February. February was a very low YouTube month and March wasn't great either. And the bottom line is I simply didn't, I was budgeting to put £100 a week into those envelopes, and that was for spending money. So for those of you who haven't seen the video, just a quick recap. Basically, it wasn't to include my bills and direct debits. They were already done separately. This was literally just to control my cash spending that I hand over in the shops without thinking. So it was groceries and stuff for the dogs and clothing and miscellaneous like birthday presents, things like that. It was literally just to control my out-of-hand spending, not my bills. And I budgeted £100 a week for all of that and split it down into the envelopes. And there just came a point where I didn't have that £100. I didn't have it. I had enough money just about to pay the bills. There had to be a little bit of reshuffling for paying the bills, but I managed it. You know, the rent was paid, the council tax, the utilities, all of those were paid. But there wasn't £100 for me to ram into an envelope to use as disposable spending. And I hadn't anticipated that happening. So yeah, I simply didn't have it, and there was a couple of weeks when that happened, and because of that, it derailed me, and I kind of abandoned the whole thing. Several of you have asked in various comments on various videos how it was going. Could you have an update? So this is that update because you guys asked for it, but I'm afraid it's not a very positive. Oh, look how well it's going really well. At the moment, I'm not doing it. At the moment, I'm back to just having my money in the bank and spending on my debit card and not having, and just trying to control my cash that way. Whether or not I'll restart at some point, I don't know. But here is the update. I'll show you the little bit of filming that I did for the 4 weeks. Okay. So the first week of my cash envelope system has passed, and I thought we would do a quick update on how this first week has gone before I put in the money for the second week. So I haven't actually had a very spendy week at all. I have used money from the groceries budget. I've used some from the miscellaneous budget. I didn't use any from the pets budget. I will explain why in a minute. I didn't use any from household. In fact, I didn't use any from fuel, eating out, business, clothes or personal. The reason for this is that when I took Mum shopping on Thursday and put a few bits of stuff into the trolley such as pet food and a couple of household items, she very kindly paid for it along with hers. So that meant that I didn't go into those envelopes, but I had already been to M&S and spent £15 on groceries, and I had spent £2.50 out of the miscellaneous envelope on something to add to the parcel for Antoinette that I was sending. Antoinette won the Harry Potter bracelet, so I spent £2.50 out of there to add to that. So there's £7.50 left in that one out of the original 10. And there is 15 left out of the original 30 in the groceries. And that's all I spent this week out of my envelopes. We didn't order any, or rather we did have a takeaway, but Natalie paid for it because it was her turn. So we had a Subway salad and I didn't need to pay for that. And I haven't been anywhere or spent anything else. So week 1, somewhat uninteresting, but I've got my week 2 budget to add to it, and I intend to just add in the next 100, even if I haven't spent the first 100, for 4 weeks. At the end of those 4 weeks, I will then take back anything that hasn't been spent out in the envelopes and move that into savings, so that I am kind of working to a monthly budget, because my plan eventually is to begin working to a monthly budget. And to do that, I need to save up enough to have the next month in advance. So I feel that this is going to be the way that I'm going to be able to work that. So here is this week's £100 budget. I'm going to go ahead and move it into the envelopes using the same amounts that I used last time, which I will put on the screen for you as I'm doing it. And yeah, that's basically my week 1 update. There's not a lot to tell you. It's worked okay so far. Oh, I've told you a fib. I did pay for the Subway. Maybe Natalie and I paid halves, and I gave her my half in cash. She paid on her card, I gave her my half in cash. Completely forgot about that. Told you a fib, my bad. Okay, I'm all set up for the following week. I just wanted to clarify that one of the things I have been doing is rounding up to the nearest 50p and putting the oddses in my change jar, because I don't want those envelopes full of tiny little bits of shrapnel and carrying that around. And the other thing that I plan to do, for example, is put everything on one receipt and pay for it out of one envelope, and then move the funds around when I get home, so that I'm not standing in shops trying to split my shop up into, oh, I need to pay for this out of this, I need to pay for that out of that. So for example, I might pay for it all out of the groceries envelope and then come home and actually go, well, some of that was household and some of it was pets, and so I'll break it down when I get home and split it into the right envelope. Hope that all makes sense, and I'll be back next week with another update. Okay, second week of using the new cash envelope system is over. It's time for a quick update on what I've spent, how I've spent it, and what's left in my cash envelopes. So firstly, we'll do eating out. And this week, it is now empty. I spent £16 today on a takeaway roast dinner for myself and mum. And so that took that category down to absolutely zero. Haven't spent anything out of my clothing budget this week. I spent £1 from my personal budget this week on some sugar-free toffees to have in the car. So there's still £3.50 left in there. From the pets budget this week, I spent £4.50 on dog food in Home Bargains and £3 on a collar for Molly. So there's £12.50 carried forward in that one. The household one still has £3 in. I spent £12.50 out of that in Home Bargains on various cleaning stuff, and another £4.50 again on cleaning stuff. Household stuff is usually cleaning stuff and loo rolls. That's what I use that for. Drain cleaner, washing tablets, stuff like that. This one is fuel, and my fuel budget is still there. I haven't put any fuel in yet, although I probably will have to put some in this week. For miscellaneous, I spent £4.50 on a gift for a friend who lives locally. We just dropped off a doorstep gift for her to make her, to let her know we were thinking about it. And I spent £2.50 on some gift boxes, which are for something you'll see later. So there is still £10.50 in that one. I spent something at the business category this week. I used £10 on a Facebook pickup of some Cath Kidston mugs and 50p on some wet wipes, which I used to tend to clean grubby items for resale. So there's £9.50 left in there. And groceries, I am overdrawn. I owe £1.50 out of the grocery envelope. And I owe it back into my ordinary bank account. There is the odd occasion when I am somewhere shopping and I need to use my card because they're preferring not to take cash. And if I do that, it's a little bit easy to overspend. So I did overspend slightly on groceries. I spent £27 in Iceland and £9.50 in Home Bargains, and that took me £1.50 overdrawn. Groceries is always going to be the category that's a little bit more difficult to manage because it's going to fluctuate. I know a lot of you think the £30 a week that I allow for that is not enough. It is only for me. Natalie buys her own food. So that's why £30 should be enough. But having said that Natalie buys her own food, I still tend to buy things for like milk, which I don't use all of it myself, and so on and so forth. So I've got this week's £100 here ready to top them up. And you may remember that I intend to top up weekly for 4 weeks, and then at the end of 4 weeks I intend to take out any surplus, put it into savings, and then start again afresh at 0 in each envelope. So here we go. Then groceries is getting £30, but it does owe my bank account £1.50. So while I've got some change in there, I will take that back. Business is getting £10. Which will take that one up to £19.50. Miscellaneous gets £10. Fuel gets £10, and this is where you will see that whilst £10 a week might not be enough for fuel in normal times, obviously at the moment with lockdown and COVID, I'm not using as much fuel as I normally would, which means by the time I go to put it in, I will have enough in the envelope to do probably 3/4 of a tank maybe. Household is getting £10. Pets is getting £10. Personal, £5. Eating out gets 10. And clothes gets 5. Definitely the clothing category is where I've found that this has stopped me impulse buying this week, because I saw a really nice jumper that I would have liked and it was £23, but I didn't have enough in my clothing, so I didn't buy it. I will go back when I've got £23 and see if it's still available on the website. If not, it doesn't matter, does it? It's, you know, it's definitely making me think before I spend, which is the intention after all. But there we go, that's all set up for the coming week. And I'll see you at the end of the week with another update. Okay, time for the next weekly update. So here is the £100 which I'll be putting in for this week. Let's have a look. Oh, where's that one supposed to be? That one's fallen out of one of them. I'll find out where that one's meant to be in a second. So, starting with clothes. I did not use any of my clothing money, so that still holds 15, and I'm adding 5 into that one. So that's sitting with a balance of 20. I'll take that one out, put that one in, there we go. Miscellaneous. That should be holding £20.50, and yet there it is, £20.50. All I spent out of miscellaneous in the last week was £1 on some sleep spray for Natalie. So £20.50 in there, and I'm adding today another £10. It may be that I don't need the miscellaneous category as much as I thought I did. I might be able to cut down what I put in there. Personal, that should have £8.50. There it is, £8.50. I bought nothing out of my personal category this week, nothing at all. So we're topping up that one to the tune of £5, and that'll be on £13.50. Next one is fuel, and I did fuel my car this week and used the entire £30 that was in the envelope. So I'll be topping that one up by £10, giving it a running balance of £10. Next up is business. That should have £9.50, and it has got £9.50. I spent £10 this week out of my business envelope on a bundle of clothing from a contact. So I'm topping that one up by £10, taking it back up to £19.50. Next up is household. That should have 12. And it has 11, so that's where that missing pound has come out of. So that pound's for household. There's the 12. I only spent £1 out of the household this week, and it says HB, which is Home Bargains, so it's probably a cleaning product. So we'll top that one up by an additional £10, and that's making that a balance of 22. I'm going to put 2 fivers in there because I tend to use smaller money more out of that one. Pets, now I used all of that. There was £19.50. I've written down 20 because there's actually £20 in there because I hadn't got the odd 50p. So that one is down to 0, and I'm topping it up now. That was at Costco, by the way. I bought dog chews and puppy pads in Home Bargains for £3 earlier in the week, and then we went to Costco and I bought dog food, and that was where the £20 went. So topping that one up by £10. Groceries is empty. Again, I used that money at Costco. I bought chicken thighs and... in fact, there's more than one entry on that. I bought chicken thighs and a joint of pork at Costco. But also I spent £5 at Aldi and £2 at Home Bargains on groceries this week. Haven't bought a lot grocery-wise because we'd already got quite a lot in. I didn't really need much. So that is getting a £30 top-up. And also somebody said, how is that enough money for a family? This is only for me. Natalie buys her own food and Anthony officially doesn't live here. So strictly speaking, that's just for me. And then finally, this one is eating out, and I did use my eating out money again this week. I had £5 at Subway on a salad and £5 at Costco on a jacket potato. So I'm topping that one up with another tenner. Give me a balance of 10 on there. And that's all my envelopes stuffed and ready for another week. Okay, it's been 4 weeks. I think it has worked up to a point using the cash envelopes. There's still times when card is the only option. When I've had to pay by card, I've then moved the money back out of the cash envelopes to compensate. So it's not been a roaring success because there really are times when paying by card isn't really an option at the moment. There really are times when paying by cash isn't really an option at the moment. But I'm doing my best because I would prefer to use cash on a daily basis. I've got the next £100 for the next week. But this is the part where I go into the envelopes and take out everything I didn't spend in the first 4 weeks. I would prefer to do this calendar monthly. And so I may empty them out again at the end of February. Today, by the way, is the 16th of February. It's Tuesday and I should have done this on Sunday night, but I didn't, and then Monday was too busy. So yeah, I may go through them again at the end of February, take them all out and start again so that I'm doing a calendar month. But even so, clothes, I spent absolutely nothing. I'm not going to take my clothing money out. The intention, sorry if I haven't made this clear, the intention is to take out any surplus I haven't spent over the 4 weeks and move that into savings. However, I'm not considering the clothing money to be surplus. I haven't spent it because there isn't yet enough to buy anything with. So I will continue to add to that rather than move that into savings. And this will be my clothing savings. So I haven't spent anything in there, meaning that that one's still at 20. Business, I spent £10 on a bundle of jigsaws this week, leaving £9.50. I will take out the £9.50 and we'll go back to 0 on that one. Household, I spent £7.50 in B&M this week, meaning there is £14.50 left from the month to move over there. I don't know if I also made it clear that the intention to move it into savings is that at some point I will have a month's worth of surplus to then start a month afresh with and have my month's expenditure in advance so that I don't have to work on a weekly budget anymore. Pets, there's £3 left in there. I bought a bath towel for Molly and some rubber balls for all of them to play with. So I'm going to take out the £3 that's left and that leaves 0 in there. From personal this week, I spent £3 on some sewing stuff. £7.50 on some sewing stuff and £3 on a gift and a card for somebody. So I have £3 left that I'm taking out. Eating out. I did not use my eating. Oh, sorry, I tell a lie. I had £10 in there. I spent £5 on McDonald's, leaving me £5, which I'll move into savings. Groceries. I spent £13 in Lidl this week and £4.50 in B&M, which leaves £12.50 to move into savings. I didn't use my fuel money this week because I put £30 in last week, and obviously we're not going very far, but I won't clear that into savings. I'll leave that in there because £10 a week isn't, you know, I'll put it all in one go. And then finally, this one is miscellaneous. Turns out the miscellaneous category is the one I need least or use least. So from the entire month, there's still £30.50 left in there to go into savings. This may be a category that I go back to and revisit and consider that perhaps I need to put less in it. But we'll leave it as it is for now, because it may just be a month that I haven't had much miscellaneous stuff to deal with. Okay, so then this is the money that I haven't spent over the 4 weeks that I've been using the envelopes so far. So going into savings, we've got 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 65, 70, 75, and that's £3.50. So £78 into savings. From a total budget of 400, 4 weeks at £100 a week, that's not bad, I don't think. I haven't struggled with this. Like I said, the only thing I've really struggled with is being able to pay cash all the time. But so that needs working on. I have bought some stuff online that perhaps would have come out of these categories, but again, I'm still finding my way with it. So now it's time to top them up for, or start them again for the next month. I've got my 100 there, but I've also got some £5 notes on one side to do where things need a fiver. So for example, personal gets £5. That's it. I don't know whether you're enjoying this video. I don't know whether I'm doing the cash envelope system the way other people do it or the way they think it ought to be done. But I'm pleased with how it's gone for me for this first 4 weeks. I've got £78 to move into savings to start getting to the point where I've got a month of expenses pre-saved. That's where I'd like to be. I'd like to be at the point where I've got next month's money before it starts, rather than getting the money together through the month and thinking, okay, there's a bill coming out next Tuesday, I hope I've got enough for that, and things like that. I'd like to get to the point where I know, I mean, Dave Ramsey says you should have 6 months of expenses saved, and I don't know where, I mean, maybe they do it differently where Dave Ramsey's from, because I can't imagine getting to that point. But if I could get to the point where I'm not paying for this month during this month, where this month was paid for by what I did last month, that would be great. So thanks for watching this video. I'm interested in your comments below, if whether you use a system like this yourself, or whether you think that I'm doing something maybe that I should be doing differently. Any hints or tips, anything like that. Please remember to hit the thumbs up button if you've enjoyed the video, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Please do hit that button. I'd love to have you along for the ride. So that's it. That's it. I just, at the moment, I'm not doing the cash envelope system. I still think it's great in theory, but I've got to get back into the swing if I'm going to do it again now. Things have evened out a little bit eBay-wise. There's a little bit more money flowing through at the moment, but it rocked me a little bit that I was like, oh God, I don't even have that 100 quid. 100 quid is not a huge amount to my mind. Don't get me wrong. I realise that some people live on a lot less. But it made me realise that it's not that easy to just go, there's my £100 spending money. There's my pocket money. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon with something else. Take care. Bye for now.